In this video, I will cover how to process a table order using the point of sale system. Um, the tables are listed in the customer box with the other customers. So the first thing to do is to select your table from the customer list. To do that, you'll click the spyglass, which raises the customer window. The system is set up so that the tables will sort to the top of the list. There are other customers below the tables, as you will see here. So by using the @ symbol as part of the table name, it causes it to always be on the first part of the list. If you have a bar customer, I've done a similar thing where the bar customers will float to the top of the list by clicking customer ID. So depending on if you have a bar customer or a table customer, you should use the customer ID or last name tabs. Either way, you should have quick access to most tables. In some cases, you'll be waiting on a table that is below this list that you see on the screen here. In that case, you will have to use the scroll buttons to find your table. It's not a great situation, but it is a fairly reliable workaround. So in this case, let's suppose that you're working with table 13. Simply touch the row on the touchscreen and then click the OK button. As you can see, table 13 is now populated in the customer ID text box, and it is also displayed below it in this rust color font. At this point, you're ready to start adding items. You'll still use your notepad to give the order to the kitchen. They will work off your notepad as we've done in the past. You'll most likely be entering data from your yellow copy into the system. So let's do some sample items right now. So we will click this Add Item button, and in this example, let's say they ordered a winemaker's plate and sliders and olives and green beans. So you can see that the list is building here. Now, if there's some item that they might have ordered that is not on the list for whatever reason, you can use this additional item button. Now, this is a catch-all. It won't detail it out. It'll just keep it pretty generic. Now, as you can see, this pop-up window rises up, and you can just enter in any dollar amount that's associated with the item. Suppose they ordered extra baguettes, and the charge is $3. We'll just put $3 in there, and it just says additional item at $3. So at this point, you're ready to move on. Let's say that they're going to keep the order open. You'll click finished, which might be a little misleading since we're not technically finished, but we are finished with the initial data entry. So you can see here on this screen that all the all the items are listed. It has a subtotal and it has a running total. At this point, you can click New Invoice, and it will save the order and prepare the point of sale for the next server, or you can enter another order in. As you can see, the screen is now blank, and it is reset. So now let's suppose you need to go back to that order and open it up. Well, there's table 13 right there. So you'll perform the same action. You will actually click OK button on the point of sale. You can't really double click with your fingers, but you can use the OK button. So here we are. So let's suppose that they're going to buy a bottle of wine and let's add that to the order. In this case, let's say it is a bottle of Chardonnay St. Ray here. And let's go ahead and click finished. Adjust the order, and there you go. So there you have it. So now at this point, let's suppose that they're going to close the order and you need to provide a receipt. You could click the print receipt button, which will render a receipt and close the order. You probably will want to do a print before paid, which will actually keep the order open. It's probably a good idea until you know 100% for sure that the order is closed. You click this print before paid, it will generate a receipt from the printer underneath the monitor, and you can supply that to your customer. At which point they will give you a credit card or cash, maybe both, depending on the situation. So in this example, let's say that they split the ticket, and they're paying $30 in cash and $46.13 on credit card. You'll click the Pay tab on the top, and you'll see here that you have your payment options. So let's first start with the cash. You'll click the cash button. It'll populate the amount tendered box with the total due. So what you will do is you will just touch that control box, and this 10 key will pop up. So let's emulate a $30 payment. You'll hit OK, and it adds it to the payment type, subtracts it from the total due, and now the adjusted amount due is now $46.13. And the other type of payment is the credit card. So what you will do is you will swipe the credit card using the old Verifone authorization machine. It's the machine we've used for the last several years. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. Once you get the authorization, you will just enter that data into this system. You'll see by touching that button, it does populate the balance into the amount tendered box. It would be nice if you would type in the invoice from the Verifone receipt into this reference. The invoice is right on the top of the receipt, on the header of the receipt. So usually it's just a 4-digit number. In this case, let's say it's 13. You can click OK. At this point, your transaction is fully paid and ready to be closed out. If the customer enters a gratuity into the on the credit card receipt, you'll hold that for later processing. We will enter those at the end of your shift. You'll have to go through your credit card receipts and adjust your tips in the Verifone machine like we've done in the past. At the end of the shift, we will enter that data into the system, and that will be shown on another video. So at this point, you'll click Print Receipt, and that closes the invoice, and it sends a receipt to the printers. You can discard the receipt, or if you need it for our records, you can keep it. Generally speaking, a credit card customer has already collected their receipt, and this receipt probably can be discarded. And that concludes the sample on how to conduct a table order.